Hello, welcome to my video. Today we are going to be discussing / analyzing Pride and Prejudice, a wonderful movie that came out in 2005, set in late 18th century England. Before we start the analysis, let me discuss the funniest parts of the movie, in my opinion. Also, spoiler warning, at the very beginning, Elizabeth indirectly roasting Darcy is incredible. Quote, even one's partner, even when, oh my god, I didn't even write it right. Wait, I read it. Okay. Dancing, even when one's partner is barely tolerable. That is directly after Darcy refused to dance with her because he said dancing was such a bore. Secondly, I love when Lydia throws her handkerchief and no one grabs it. Like, she throws it into a crowd of soldiers marching and not one soul grabs it. It's perfect. Additionally, I also love everything Mr. Collins does in this movie. He is funny as hell, and especially his proposal, which, you seek to increase my love by suspense. I love this line. Now on to the analysis. It's hard to describe this movie without finding out what it means and what its purpose is. It's showing the power of love, despite everything that gets in the way of it. From family to other lovers to misunderstandings to status in society, everything in this movie shows that two people love each other enough, care for each other enough, they can achieve a life together. I mean, the amount of things in this movie that try to ruin the love between Darcy and Elizabeth is staggering. From Darcy being a dick in the beginning, to Mr. Collins and Wickham intervening in Elizabeth's life, and Lady Catherine trying to stop the love between these two. But in the end, they all fail, because true, authentic, mutual love survives all. If we examine the movie even further, we can see the blossoming of love when both Darcy and Elizabeth give it a chance. Their chemistry is undeniable when they actually try to talk and understand each other. Yet early on, life intervenes to stop this blossoming love. And what I mean life is everything that surrounds their love. We have Elizabeth and Darcy standings in society being so vast in difference that marriage is seen as impossible at first sight. Then other suitors intervene, first from Mr. Bingley's sister, then Mr. Collins' increasingly goofy ass attempts at courting any woman in the vicinity. The most sinister being, though, Wickham and his attempts at courtship of Elizabeth, his bad mouthing of Darcy, and his eventual courtship of Lydia Bennet in a very, very ill-mannered way that is seen by society as very immoral. By bad-mouthing Darcy, he forced conflict between Darcy and Elizabeth that strained their relationship once again. Furthermore, Lydia ran off to elope with Wickham, which is viewed badly in this society during this time. Not letting the fathers know, not letting the family know. It's seen as very bad and seen as very disgraceful to the family name, right? Only reason the Bennet family name is not ruined after this is because Mr. Darcy found them and paid for them to be married. He did this out of love for Elizabeth, but if he didn't do it, love between them could not save her family reputation going into the toilet, which would have ruled out marriage entirely. Lady Catherine is also an interesting insight into what I mentioned before, how Elizabeth's standing in society caused more difficulties between her and Darcy's love. At the very end of the movie, Lady Catherine comes in and demands that her and Darcy stop talking altogether, that someone like Elizabeth cannot prevent the union between her daughter and Darcy. In her own words, this union, Lady Catherine's daughter and Mr. Darcy, has been planned since their infancy. You think it can be prevented by a young woman of inferior birth? This shows that the powerful people and society as a whole, their union was viewed to be doomed from the beginning. But what happens after all this conflict, after all this hardship? What happens after Elizabeth rejects Lady Catherine's attempt to stop the union between her and Darcy? Darcy and Elizabeth meet in a field where the sun is rising. Darcy admits the feelings he has for Elizabeth, the undying love he has for her. In his own words, "You have bewitched me body and soul, and I love you. I never wish to be parted from you this day on." Presumably, they live on happily ever after, though that's not how love works in real life. Even after the day you proclaim your love and you become partners, you will have problems with your partner. You will have conflict of money, of relationship styles, of communication, and other things in life that will get in the way. I believe that my main critique of these types of movies is that love seems to win in the end, but in life, it doesn't always win. There must be consistency and reliability in it. It cannot be a series of spontaneous actions, but instead it must also contain the little things such as asking, "How are you?" or getting them something that they like, or just showing every single day that you still love them, even in the tiniest of ways. It must be a consistent pattern of effort, lest it will fall apart. That is what makes love endure despite everything in life. Just constant effort and appreciation of that effort. That is something that I could say about every single movie, right? And that's something that goes into a very deeper topic about what love is and everything. But I mean, I love the message of the movie that love endures all, that love will overcome everything, all the difficulties, all the traumas, all the gateways, and all the gates, and all the locked barriers that stop us from achieving the love that we desire, that will overcome everything. And I do love it. And the movie is incredible overall. And my tiny critique of love applies to a lot of romance movies, not just this one. I do like how the love here feels more earned because there was a lot of roadblocks to getting to the point where they can admit their love for each other. That is closer to real life than most other romantic movies ever get. A good example of a romantic movie that is super duper far from reality is The Notebook. Genuinely, I could never see that happening in 1,000,000 years. Two people who fell in love during the summer years ago finally get together after years apart. I love the movie, but it's just too much. This one, though, it's perfect. Great watch and a good portrayal of the struggles but power of love.